So good morning, everybody. Welcome. It's actually a sold-out crowd today. So we're still waiting for some folks. And in fact, those who got tickets, well done. I actually we all got some very creative emails from people asking to get tickets, including one chap who emailed me yesterday, said he was the organizer of Davos. So welcome to the 7th Digital Finance Summit here at Columbia University, organized by the Digital Financial Services Observatory, part of Columbia Institute for Tele-Information at Columbia Business School. I'm Dr. Leon Perlman, and the founder and head of the Digital Financial Services Observatory at the Business School. Also, I have a number of other roles in the ITU and Financial Inclusion Global Initiative. And a lot of the information that you're going to see today, I tweet on. So you're very welcome to follow me on Twitter, if you'd like to. And we are live streaming today, so all those from around the world, and I believe there are quite a few people that have already joined our live stream, welcome. Thank you for joining us wherever you are in the world, whatever time of the day it is. So just a brief background about the observatory. A need was identified for a dedicated legal policy, technology, and regulatory institute on digital finance. So with the help of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, we started in 2015 with a financial inclusion focus. Under CITI, we have Professor Elie Noem, unfortunately couldn't make it today. It was started in 1983, so it's been going quite a while as a research center for communications, technology, economics, management, and policy. So ultimately, our mission statement is the business and policy of digital financial services. And again, thanks to Chris. Where are you, Chris? Chris, there you are. Chris Calabia from Gates Foundation. We're going to hear from him right after me for your support, your multi-year support and faith in us for the past few years. It's great to have you as a partner. Thank you. So about a bit of our activities. This is what we do. You can go online. There's a QR code inside the booklet where you can go straight to our website and see all this. We do a lot of model laws and regulations we've written, which are there for regulators around the world to utilize. Webinars, capacity building webinars, which are extremely popular. Summits, this one, conferences, roundtables. There's a legal and regulatory database of about 70 countries and other information that's entirely free, built bootstrapped and built from the ground up. We work on blockchain, identity. This is inter alia, anti-money laundering stuff, mobile-related studies. And what you'll hear from about a bit later is what we're building in the next few months, which should be released, an actionable cybersecurity risk management framework. Again, a lot of papers and studies, commentaries, analysis of new laws and regulations, collaboration with industry, regulators, academic standard-setting bodies. So you can see we're kind of an omnibus observatory working with a lot of folks around the world on all manner of issues. Our webinars, there's a screenshot of some of them, and you go onto our mailing list, you'll be told where they are. We've got one coming up in a few weeks on gender and cybersecurity. This is our website, dfsobservatory.com, and this is the legal and regulatory database. Again, this is free, and you're welcome to trawl through this at your leisure. As I mentioned, we're building a cybersecurity actionable risk management framework. This has been going on for quite a while with support of the foundation. We're looking forward to publishing it and it being utilized by many countries and entities around the world. So a bit about the summit evolution. I've been organizing this one since 2010 when I started this. We started off as mobile commerce, and you'll see the evolution. 2014, it was mobile payments. Then 2016, digital financial services, and now it's more of a omnibus digital finance summit, which you can see from the agenda. You can see it's a pretty jam-packed agenda, so although we're running a bit late, we'll try and make up time during the day. It's in your bio booklet, and you can go online and follow it, and the speaker bios and the like. So ultimately, if you look at the agenda, you'll see all these topics, and there is a golden thread running through all of them, believe it or not. So anything from blockchain to innovation, investors, payments, banking, identity, artificial intelligence, privacy, and ultimately this rolls up into what I call digital economy. And we're going to talk a lot about innovation. So ultimately that's the goal of a lot of the folks who are here, is to innovate new business models, new players, new technologies, and really disrupt. And that's what we've seen. Disrupt in the sense that we have, for example, blockchain is an ultimate disruptive technology for now, and we're going to hear the implications of it, from the cybersecurity to the regulatory implications from a lot of our speakers during the course of the day. So that's enough from me. Learn, network, have fun, and ask questions. And please tweet. That's our hashtag at the bottom. It's also on your bio booklet, so feel free to tweet out anything that you hear about today. So I'd like now to hand over to Chris Calabria of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. He's a senior program officer there.
Yeah.
All right. You can see why I didn't last long in the major basketball leagues. Okay, here we go. So my name is Chris Calabria, and I'm a senior advisor for supervisory and regulatory policy at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, where I'm part of a team called Financial Services for the Poor. If you're familiar with the Gates Foundation, or perhaps if you saw the recent Netflix documentary about inside Bill Gates' brain, you might be familiar with our work on public health, vaccinations, medicine, education, and so on. You might be surprised to know, though, that we have a program in financial services. If you were surprised, you're in good company, because even though I'm a bank regulator by background, I didn't realize how deep the Foundation's work was in financial services until just before I started at the Foundation. So why is the Gates Foundation involved in financial services for the poor? At the Gates Foundation, we believe that every person deserves the chance to lead a healthy and productive life. And our mission is to address inequities in all forms to help realize that vision. We seek to improve the lives of the poor by finding ways to increase access to healthcare and medicine, to clean water, to good nutrition, education, and economic opportunity, which includes access to financial services. A growing body of research shows that having access to appropriate financial tools strengthens the financial resilience of individuals and families and enables the poor to lift themselves out of poverty. Over the last 15 years, technology, and especially payments technology, have been important drivers of inclusion in emerging and developing market economies around the world. Consequently, at the Foundation, we work to expand access to digital financial services among the poor, women, and the unbanked, especially in lower and middle income countries around the world. Now, the Foundation has partnered, as Leon mentioned, with Columbia University Business School in 2015 to help launch the Digital Financial Services Observatory here at the Columbia Institute for Tele-Information. And we've been pleased to support the leadership of Professor Ellie Noem, Dr. Leon Perlman, who's just here, Jason Buckwitz, as well as the broader staff and leadership of the Institute and of the DFSO. Now, when we launched this initiative in 2015, our goal was to provide high-quality academic research that anticipates, analyzes, and advises on the main regulations likely to affect the development of financial services in emerging and developing market economies. We wanted to ensure that those services emerge in a fashion that is safe and sound, competitive, innovative, and protective of consumers. We especially wanted to ensure that financial systems serve the needs of the poor, women, and the unbanked. Now, since 2015, a lot has changed in financial inclusion, yet much remains to be done. This can be seen both in the number of people with access to a formal financial savings account of some kind, but also in who is providing that account to them. First, with regard to the number of people served in financial services worldwide, lower and middle income countries have recorded substantial increases in the number of adults with access to a financial services account of some kind. The World Bank reported that 515 million new adults have gained access to an account of some kind since 2014. That means that today, about 69% of individuals over the age of 15 worldwide are banked in some fashion, up from 62% in 2014 and 51% in 2011 when the World Bank first began gathering surveys on financial inclusion. That said, improvements in access to financial services have been uneven around the world, and particularly the gender gap remains virtually unchanged since 2011. Today, just 65% of women have an account compared to 72% of men worldwide, a 7 percentage point gap that's persisted since the World Bank's first survey in 2011. Women's access to financial services is a special concern for us at the Foundation, as countless studies across countries and cultures has shown that when women have access to their own accounts, own digital accounts, it's a win-win for everyone. Women tend to spend more of their funds on their family's nutritional needs and on their children's education, resulting in better health and educational outcomes for all. While many issues may be holding the gender gap open, a significant challenge that women face in lower income countries is proving who they are sufficiently to meet Know Your Customer rules so that they can open a financial account. So promoting modern identity standards and national identity systems is one of the Foundation's primary areas of investments in digital infrastructure that is meant to help increase inclusion, especially among women. As a result, this is no time for any of us to rest on our laurels. 1.7 billion adults continue to lack access to financial services worldwide. These unbanked people don't enjoy the means that we take for granted to save for the future, to conduct their daily economic transactions safely, securely, and efficiently, and to invest in their families' futures. Yet of these 1.7 billion people, the World Bank estimates that just over 1 billion of them own a mobile phone. Technology, consequently, is continuing to play an important role in how we will include formerly unbanked individuals into the financial system. And who provides those accounts is the second area in which we've seen important changes and trends since 2014. While banks remain at the core of financial services in many markets, non-bank providers continue to grow in importance in serving the needs of those living in impoverished or rural areas. Less than 15 years ago, mobile phone providers began experimenting with basic financial services, principally payments. The best example might be the innovative M-Pesa service launched in 2007 in Kenya by Safaricom, a telco and mobile phone company. Sub-Saharan African countries continue to lead the world in the use of these non-bank mobile money services. Today, 21% of Sub-Saharan Africans have a mobile money account, a near doubling since 2014. Worldwide, the World Bank reports that 52% of adults have sent or received a digital payment of some kind, whether mobile or online, up from 42% in 2014. These changes in the payments space have driven regulatory reforms as well, with new kinds of payments bank licenses launched in India, and a similar payment services bank license recently launched in Nigeria. These narrow banks, if you will, are allowed to accept and hold funds for consumers, make payments on their behalf, usually on a mobile phone, but generally not to extend credit to them. The advent of Fintech firms, that is, technology providers that play a more direct role in financial services, as well as the emergence of massive social media platforms providing payment services in some countries, is accelerating other changes in how consumers access and use financial services in developing and emerging market economies. Now, given especially that social media platforms seem to know more about us as individuals than just about anyone else, including the government, privacy and efforts to preserve privacy have been just as important to the poor in emerging and developing countries as they are to those of us in developed countries. Taken together, these trends in the numbers of new customers served using mobile devices and the greater range of firms involved in this work makes the work of the DFSO even more important today. We recently renewed our partnership with the DFSO in late 2018, asking Ellie, Leon, and their team to focus especially on the regulatory and risk management aspects of technology in the digital financial services area. From the Foundation's discussions with financial service providers, regulators, central bankers, consumer advocates, and technology providers around the world, we know that one of the foremost concerns for everyone is cybersecurity. So DFSO and we agreed to emphasize the work to identify and understand the cybersecurity risks of today and those on the horizon that may affect the delivery of digital financial services in developing countries. In particular, we're seeking to build risk management and policy frameworks to help providers and regulators to manage, prevent, and respond to cybersecurity risks in a systematic manner. On that note, we're pleased to welcome Keith Bowie to the DFSO as a research scholar, who together with Leon and others is spearheading much of this work, and you'll get a chance to meet Keith later in the afternoon. In addition to cybersecurity, the Gates Foundation and the DFSO continue to collaborate on several other subjects at the heart of technology, regulation, and financial inclusion. You know about these areas of focus from DFSO's many webinars, roundtables, publications, and postings, as Leon just showed you on screen. And we're so fortunate that today we'll get a chance to hear from experts across the public and private sectors, including from the Superintendent of the State of New York, as well as from locations near and far, on topics related once again to digital payments and emerging payments technologies that have been so important to promoting inclusion, to related emerging technologies and distributed ledgers, such as blockchain platforms, identity, and especially digital identity systems, a critical area of focus for improving women's financial inclusion, as well as the related issues in privacy, and innovation and efforts to promote new thinking on technology and business practices, especially through incubators and national strategies. I'd like to thank all of you for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us in thinking about how we can improve inclusion for the poor, women, and unbanked around the world. So let's get started. Thank you.